Iorwerth, congratulations. I imagine you expect to be First Minister in a few days. Have you done the deal with other parties yet?
I spoke very clearly throughout the campaign about my desire to be able to be in a position where Plaid Cymru could form a minority government. I think the maths, the way people voted and the way the seats were shared out in that momentous election on Thursday makes it clear now that we are in that position. It does mean, of course, having to move forward as a minority government in a cooperative way. I've spoken very openly about the fact that my politics is something that I see as being necessarily cooperative. I've spoken, of course, with other party leaders, and we now look forward to getting to work on behalf of the people of Wales.
Your principal opposition is going to be reform. That's a completely new situation. How do you expect to work with them?
You're right. This is a new political party that will be trying to find its feet here in the Senedd. We have a strong mandate, I think, to form that minority government here. We have a clear vision as a prospective government here of the way we want to go about our business here. The priorities that we have set out for many, many months now around health and education and job creation and childcare, and of course standing up for Wales. We of course expect there to be robust opposition. The opposition parties will be working out themselves how they propose to take that opposition to us. But our focus will always be on what we can do in order to change things, in order to move forward on those issues important to people's lives. And it's not just going to be a matter of dealing with opponents and opposition. It will necessarily be having to reach out to others on a host of different issues, as we intend to do so positively over the next 4 years.
Well, one other point about the opposition, and I think for people outside Wales, it may be a bit hard to understand how seismic this change has been. Labour's been the dominant force in Welsh politics for a century. Now, aside from your great policies and your general campaigning brilliance and all of that, which let's take that for granted, what do you think caused the collapse of the Labour vote?
I will take your generous comments in the spirit I'm sure they were intended to be taken. But it has been a collapse. It has been a collapse that we could sense coming, that we could see coming. And in the build-up to the election and into the many conversations I've had since, people have been explaining to me why. People had lost trust in the idea that one party running everything was the best thing for Wales. They saw in Plaid Cymru a new energy, a new set of ideas, a new set of people with a higher level of ambition for our nation. They had always liked us and respected us, but for whatever reason hadn't made that step to giving us a vote in an election. They felt ready to, and that disillusionment with both Keir Starmer and his actions in government since July 24, and the failure of Labour in Wales to stand up to that indifference from Downing Street led us to a penny drop moment, I think, in Wales. Labour will now have to reflect on what on earth went wrong. I will reflect on how we use this moment as a moment of huge significance for the future, the history of Wales.
Well, let's talk about your agenda rather than everybody else's. You're quite right to raise that. Can we just get one thing clear? Independence is not at the top of your agenda.
Well, Wales is on top of my agenda, and that's the key thing. And it's been great to engage in many conversations over the course of this election on the question of independence and what this election meant for independence. And I said this election isn't about independence, in that there is no proposal by myself or Plaid Cymru to put a referendum on the table. I don't think we're there yet, and I've spoken, if you like, not from a policy position, but that's my belief. If we are to, redesign our nation and redesign Britain, in order to be able to have a system that works, that people can believe works for them, we have to take people with us. But it is about the future of Wales. I don't believe that our lot now is as good as it can get. We need to move forward with more powers for this Parliament. But the powers in this Parliament are powers for the people of Wales. And then we make the case for where we can take this journey constitutionally and why.
You say it's about the future of Wales, but a lot depends on the relationship with Westminster. When we last spoke, you were telling me that you were planning to spend the reserves that are made available to you by Westminster. From your manifesto, you want to raise taxes on Welsh people, borrow some more money. How do you expect those things to happen without Westminster agreeing to it?
And that's one of the issues that, at the core of this seismic shift in Welsh politics, the belief of the people of Wales that they want a party in government here that's ready to stand up for Wales and make the case. And it's not a matter of I now ask and I get everything right. What more money will flow when the powers? But what they expect is for the case to be made and for the case to be built. Now, I expect, on becoming First Minister, to be beginning immediately on those negotiations with the UK Prime Minister. And the difference between me doing that and my predecessor in Labour doing that will be that I will not accept no. I take that initial no, and then we make the case as a nation for why we need to move forward. And I've said all along that Labour have two choices now. They can punish Wales, if they like, and say, right then, you're not getting anything. Or they can say, we have shown our indifference in our actions. We need to change our position on what UK government does for Wales. I will help that UK Prime Minister, whoever that is, in coming months. Okay. To see Wales in a different way, to see our needs in a different way, to understand our aspirations as a nation and why it's up to UK government to step up to the mark. But on that question of independence, yeah, I want Wales to be an independent country, but we work with what we have now.
Iorwerth, congratulations again, and thank you so much for your time this morning.